Festiie fam, the time is now. Festival goers unite. Welcome to the Festiie Files podcast, where we highlight the creative and inspiring individuals who collectively come together and bring to life the festival experience. So if you're watching this at home and you're just missing festivals so much, if you can close your eyes and think of the time you were at a festival, whether you were dancing in the crowd as if no one was watching, if you're behind the scenes, backstage, if you're the artist providing the beat, somebody dancing on stage, or a vendor at an event, every single person that attends a festival plays an integral piece in festival magic, in the culture. My name is Desmond Berestein, CEO of Festiie, the Festival Smart Band. And today, let's get into it. We got a super inspiring entrepreneur. She is a fashion model. She's an artist, creator, and CEO of Ethical Dolly and Conscious Nomad Couple. She is a festival goer, very passionate festival goer, and she's a plant-based festival goer. Gotta throw that out there. You know what? Because I also am plant-based, so shouts out to my plant-based Festiie fam. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Genesis Canty. Genesis, welcome to the Festiie Files podcast.
Yay, awesome. Thank you so much, Desmond. That was awesome. I feel so honored to be on your show. I'm super stoked to talk to you and share my views to all your viewers.
Yeah, we super appreciate you, and literally that's the beauty, and it's all about finding beauty, even though right now we're not at physical festivals. The community, we're still out here. The spirit, we gotta keep that alive. One way of doing so is connecting. Like there's nothing keeping us from, whether it's going online, reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, I love your work. There's nothing keeping us from reaching out to friends, connecting and vibing. And we all have a story to tell, right? Whether you've attended a festival or whether you're stoked to go to the next festival, you know, and that's why we opened up this platform. So let's get right into it. How are you? You're SD fam. So I love SD. I met my fiance at Crossed, so we'll talk about that later. So I got a lot of love for SD. So how are you doing? How's it been during these times?
Yeah. So personally, I've been doing pretty great. You know, during these times, I think we are all facing different types of challenges. But I embrace challenge. I honor the challenge, and I see change. I think it's possible to see a world where, you know, there's peace, love, and connection. So, you know, even though there's a lot of turmoil going on right now, it really does inspire me to speak up, to challenge myself, to overcome the fears that I'm being faced with every day during these times. So, and also it does motivate me to, you know, share more positive words and motivation and encouragement for the people who maybe don't have that right now. So it's forcing me to step up to the plate, even though for one, I'm not one for words. I've never been a great communicator. I always express myself through my art. So it's definitely challenging me to step out of my comfort zone, and even to just be on this podcast, to be brave enough to voice myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, first off, I appreciate you for jumping on. Like, that is huge. A lot of times we stay in our comfort zone. You're getting out of your comfort zone, especially, well, let's be honest, the whole country, the whole world right now is kind of out of its comfort zone. And if we can look at it and say, you know what, we're out of our comfort zone right now, but it's an opportunity for us to reassess, to self-reflect, to challenge ourselves, just how you mentioned it. And, you know, we always appreciate it when you still got dolled up, you still got, you know, threw on your glitter, you're shining right now. And that's part of it, right? Like, although we may be confined to where we can go or staying inside, still being able to tap into that energy, right? And even if it's like, I'm dressing up just to sit down here and go on the computer for the next X amount of hours, like keeping that alive for yourself, number one, but understanding that we're all connected. So you being positive, literally it's going to affect somebody else. You know, you may know them, you may not know them, but if you can understand that we are all in this together, that's how we're going to make it through this.
Yeah, well said. And, you know, during quarantine, I went through a flux of different, emotions and just been really contemplating life and kind of my part in this world and all those really big questions that I think a lot of us ask ourselves. And one that came up was, my identity, what I connect with. And there were definitely times where I was like, I'm not going to put my makeup on. Why am I going to put my makeup on? Why am I going to get dressed up? Like, I think all of us might have gone through that point of like, whoa, like our routine is really disrupted. And so it made me really think about, what do I identify with? What makes me Genesis? And so I really just broke it down. Like, number one, before anything, before my Blackness, my Hispanic background, my glitter, my voice, even, I'm human. I'm in this human body having this experience. And even though it was an uncomfortable experience, I really just wanted to honor the fact that I'm in my body and I'm able to breathe and love and just wake up, to challenge myself to, find different hobbies, to discover myself, So slowly I started to build my identity back to what I can connect with. But definitely there was a point of like, what's going on? What am I doing with myself? Who am I? So it feels really good to have that reflection and to be able to move forward in a stronger manner. And I feel, more confident than ever.
Love it. Love it. And I love that we're already going deep. Like, that's what this podcast is about. Quickly learned that when we started off, we thought, hey, we're going to just share stories, which is still an important piece. But really what we're trying to do right now, since we're taking it out of festivals, is that reflection, self-reflection, right? How can who am I? How do I feel about this? And then as a whole, going back to festivals, what am I going to do? What energy am I going to bring that's going to elevate the overall experience for everybody? So, but let's go back to how you mentioned your roots. Even on your Instagram, it says Afro-Latina. And me, myself, I am also mixed. My mother's from the Philippines. My father's from Mexico. And I'm a dark-skinned brother out here, So I got a lot going on, you know what I'm saying? So maybe let everyone know what an Afro-Latina is, or in your eyes, what does that mean to you?
Yeah. So for me growing up, I didn't know there was a word for it. I didn't know there was other people really like me. Growing up, I grew up with actually a lot of Hispanics in my neighborhood. All my close friends were Mexican. Their family only spoke Spanish. And then here I am with my afro.
I'm right there with
I
you.
think, I look so different. And even with my Black side of my family, I talk different. I never felt like I really fit in. I didn't have anything I felt super connected with, like, oh, you're like me. So now moving forward, now that I'm older, I find that it actually benefited me that I actually didn't fit in, because I think before anything, going back to what I identify with is my being human. I identify with being in my body before anything. But that being said, I love my culture. I love my Hispanic culture, my Black culture. So, and with everything going on right now, with the Black Lives Matter movement and just all the protesting, I see that, and I feel for the people who are being harmed and who are being hurt right now based on their skin, and it seems like everyone's still kind of divided, and everyone has their own views about what's going on. But before anything, I feel for me, what it means with Black Lives Matter is finding a place of equality. It's finding a place of not that we're better or greater or even like we're completely different, but we want to be treated as equal participants in society. So yeah. I don't know, I'm probably going on a tangent.
No, that was great. That was great. I mean, right now, even with this platform, we invite people to come here and speak, because now is the time for us to talk, to have conversations, to learn. If you didn't know that oppression was going on in various ways, systemically, and then how you said it, we're all human. We all have to actually start treating ourselves that way. Like, it starts in the head and within our minds, and that's years and years and years of going on and thinking of things a certain way. Like you just mentioned, you go to one side, maybe your Hispanic side, and it's a totally different way you have to speak, a totally different way that you have to do things. And then you go to your Black side, and it's a totally different thing. And I was going through the same thing. And I was a basketball player, like in the Philippines and in Mexico. But then like we would have imported players that are American players, Black players, and I was like this translator guy. So I'm like with the Black players, and I was speaking, in a way linguistically that we all understand. And then I go and speak Spanish, and then I'll go like Philippines and do something, and it's just very interesting. And that's the beauty of everything, is we need to talk and just figure this stuff out and learn about each other. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of time, but recognizing the pain, recognizing the issues, recognizing how we are all human is the first step, and then addressing these things and figuring out how to move forward. Now, I don't think there's like one side, and there is a line that will have to be drawn, but we're going to have to constantly go back and reassess that line. Hey, how do we feel about that? That is literally the human race, right? That's our job. Like, as culture progresses, as technology comes out, as this, and it's not the easiest thing, but hey, we are capable of doing it. So yeah, I feel that I had to just throw that out, and I'm so glad that you voiced your opinion as well. So yeah. Let's go back into the festival culture now, because the world, in my opinion, the world is a festival. So what got you? What was your first festival? And would you attend festivals all the time? I want to hear more about that side.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could have attended a lot more festivals. Fortunately, I'm still a little stuck in the matrix right now, working my 9 to 5. But I would love to go to more festivals. But my first festival experience was EDC. And I think at the time I was pretty young. I was 18 years old. And so my mindset was a little bit different. I think that going into it, I was pretty open-minded, but it was more about, just like the nightlife and the party. And I didn't really connect with the spiritual side of festivals until I would say about 2-3 years ago, the last festival that I went to. But it was amazing. It was definitely in your face. The different lights, the music, everything was just like, I was just taking it all in, and it was exciting, and seeing people, with their festival outfits on. And for me, I have a theatrical background, so I really paid attention to the theatrical side of the festival. So the makeup, the hair, the performers, like all of that was so exciting for me. And it really did push me into venturing into my makeup artistry a lot more, and playing with bold colors, not just doing like an everyday makeup look, and just being different. And so I would go to, at the time I was working at Sephora, I'd go with like just crazy eyeshadow, different colors, bold lips, just like being completely out there. And I loved it. It was a different way for me to express myself through makeup and fashion. And from there, I got into modeling. So the festival scene actually really inspired a lot of what I ventured into throughout life. So that was kind of my first experience with the festival scene.
Wow, that's so cool. And literally, it's funny because every time you go to a festival, when you attend a festival, you never know what it's going to be that's truly going to capture your eye. And for you, it was kind of the aesthetics of, the performers. It was like, what are they wearing? What are they oh, putting on their face, like makeup. Like, I don't even know if I really, when I'm at a festival, I don't know if I'm looking at that. I might be like, whoa, that sound or that or the light. And to everyone is different. And then you walk away
Yeah.
from the festival and it has this imprint on you. And for you, it was literally, it trickled over to essentially your career. That's the magic of festivals. You know,
Yes.
when I went to my first festival, my cousin said, hey, come with me to this festival. It's going to change your life. I'm laughing at the time. I'm like a basketball player, like, yeah, okay. And then I come back from the festival and I'm like, wow, everything changed. And now here we are, and I'm running a festival, you know, technology company. And it's like, wow, that really happened. So I love how festivals inspire us. And let's talk about your projects right now. So you said you've taken that, you know, the boldness, the colors and all that, and implemented it into your own, not just one project, but you have 2 projects. So let's get into those.
Yeah, so the first one is Ethical Dolly. So I got inspired to create Ethical Dolly through my makeup artistry as I was freelancing. So I was really just looking for brands that were vegan, cruelty-free, that was no irritants, so it's safe for, you know, everybody's skin. And also just having really high quality formulas for my artistry, for my clients. And so it was really hard to find kind of like all of those things in one color brand. So I decided to come up with Ethical Dolly to have all of those things in my kit. So that way when I show up to a photo shoot or anything like that, I feel very confident in the products that I'm using because it aligns with me morally.
Yeah.
So the first product that I came up with was a biodegradable glitter gel made from plant cellulose. Wow. And it's been about a year in the making, and I was hoping to launch it this year. But with everything happening.
Hey, that's just more time to refine it, more time to get feedback. Like literally you use that and in alchemy, you turn it and you'll make positives out of that. And then you could even do focus groups, get information that way. And you know what? You can learn how to basically present this to someone that doesn't know. Like let's talk about that real quick before we continue. Is people put makeup on and they don't really know what's in it, and you've been on both sides. So you've worked at Sephora, you've worked here and there. Maybe you can give us some information on that and why it is important and why you were like, I'm going to make something that represents that. And so I can feel really good, not just about how I look, but like extending further than that, knowing that no animal was harmed in the process, that a life wasn't taken, stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow. So there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, for each category, you know, cruelty-free, veganism, using non-irritating ingredients. Each one we can go on for a whole podcast, which each individual reason why. But just a quick briefing. One that's really important to me is what we put on our body and what we ingest. And that has to do with, you know, being plant-based, how we treat our bodies, keeping our engine clean inside is very important, very vital. But what we don't realize as women, or men too, we're constantly putting products and ingredients on our skin, you know, whether it's sunscreen, mascara, deodorant, shampoo, so many different products and chemicals that we're putting on our body. And, you know, we look at the ingredient list, half of the time we don't know what is in it. Even the word fragrance itself can mean 20 million different types of ingredients that can be super harmful to our body and also to our environment. And so that's huge for me, you know, to be able to not contribute to cancerous ingredients is very important to me. So yeah, that's something that I try to aim for with Ethical Dolly, and cruelty-free, being plant-based. I do believe in karma. I do believe that it's important that we are uplifting our world, and we're encouraging growth and health and life, and just death and harm and testing on animals, for me, it doesn't align. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I don't want in Ethical Dolly.
Yeah, love it. I mean, we're all energy. We have to understand that. And so, and for me, being plant-based, being vegan, if you ask me, if you invite me and you give me the opportunity to share that with you, it's like, okay, let me tell you something super simple. We're all energy, right? If we believe we're all energy, various life forms. So if something animal is freaked out, scared, releasing all this cortisol and fight or flight before it, gets served to you, basically onto your plate, you're ingesting that energy. And what is the energy just dissipates? Then us looking at, man, I'm feeling anxious. I can't even control my emotions. These things, it's getting passed on. And I mean, we are at the point where we have that information is accessible to us, and we have to do our due diligence, look into that. And there are viable, ethical, cruelty-free, there are options out there for us. So it's like, people usually say, oh, it's too expensive to go plant-based, or, oh, there's no options, or, oh, this, like every little thing. And like you said, check your ingredients too. Like if you're, hey, my shampoo, oh, what? There's parfum in there. What's parfum? Look it up. Oh, that's fragrance. Yeah. Oh, it could be anything, right? And I'm putting that on my skin daily. This is fast track to my whole body, my blood, everything. So yeah, it starts with learning about it, and little gradual steps. Take those little steps. Yeah. But I think that's really cool about what you're pushing out with Ethical Dolly. And then how about Conscious Nomad Couples? What's that?
Yeah, so Conscious Nomad Couple is something that I created with my lovely partner, Lo. And so during quarantine, we always wanted to do something together. He's very much into jiu-jitsu and fitness, and I'm very much into my art and makeup. So we wanted to do something as a couple that we represent, that we love, and it's plant-based foods. We love plant-based foods. We love experience plant-based foods and different restaurants and cooking. So we decided to come up with Conscious Nomad Couple, and where our mission for this vlog is to be able to travel and just show different beautiful nature spots to visit, to be able to meditate and enjoy your food, and also promote plant-based life and living, really uplifting the restaurants in our local area, especially during this time. It's so important to contribute to making sure that their business is running and that we're supporting them. So that's something that we just started. So definitely check us out and support us. And I'm really excited for that one because I love food, so I really can't complain.
It's funny how a lot of times people just from the outside looking in, they say, "Oh, you're vegan, like you don't like food." No. It's not. No. Those are two separate things. What the food goes through to get on the plate, and actually the food itself. Like so. Yeah, I'm with you there. I am a vegan who I love to eat. There's shouts out to out here this place called Follow Your Heart, which you might have heard of some of their products. They have.
Is it like the Follow Your Heart? Sorry, is it like Follow Your Heart cheeses?
Yeah. So
right on.
The place, literally, there's the original restaurant. It's out here. I'm here in Topanga, California, Woodland Hills, and they have the restaurant there, and they cook it up. It's vegan. Love doing that. Love checking out vegan spots. I think shouts out to California because there are so many spots, but I definitely am interested in following you guys because I want to know what spots in SD that you guys kind of give the thumbs up on. So, yeah.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. I'm definitely going to have to check that place out.
So I feel like there are just so many places now, and that's great.
Yes.
Like, because being able to be like, wow, this tastes so good. Sometimes you look at it and are you sure this is vegan? That's when you're like, all right, this is good stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Plant-based food, it has so much flavor and you just feel clean when you eat it. Obviously there's some junk food, vegan food.
Of course.
When I first went vegetarian, I definitely wasn't doing it the right way. I was still, eating junk food. But there's the foods that I eat, it's definitely, you feel the difference after you're done eating it. And it also just really changed the way that I think about life. I think for me, going plant-based, before anything, I love the way that it just completely changed my perspective on life and just connection with the earth. For me, spirituality means connection to our planet, just really being in it. And by going plant-based, I just have so much respect that goes into even just gardening. I have my own garden outside, and it's such a process just to be able to plant a zucchini, and watch it grow. So, I just have so much respect for our planet since I went plant-based.
Love it. And just what I usually tell my friends is, it's funny, but I say like, all right, look at the ingredients. And I say, if there's an essay as the ingredients, then I say no. Like that simple. If you see an essay in the ingredients, 30 different things, it's like sentence, it's probably not the best thing for you. And keep it like that. So
keep it
love
simple.
it. I've been waiting to cover this topic for a while, so I'm glad that we got to jump into the plant-based lifestyle, because you just mentioned it. You feel even more so, a deeper connection with the planet, energy levels, like you feel good. And it is important to be aware of the transition, because there was a point when I was a vegan, but I was like a starving plant-based dude. Like I would go to my friend's house and they'd have all this other food. And then I'm like, yeah, I can't eat that. So then I just wouldn't eat, which I don't recommend. So it's like making sure that you have the food available to you, and then doing the research, because that's part of it. What will keep you from relapsing or going back into it is understanding that, you have that stuff available to you. And I really like Conscious Nomad Couple, because you guys also bring in kind of this accountability aspect of it, where you're not in it alone, so there's someone else that can kind of boost you up, right?
Yeah, it's really exciting being able to do it with someone that I love. And my boyfriend Lo, he was the one who actually helped me transition into veganism. He was working for a restaurant called Evolution here in San Diego.
Nice.
And it was it's a vegan fast food joint that's amazing. And he just really inspired me to find alternatives, and that, like, hey, you don't need to eat cheese. I was already vegetarian for a long time, but I was so hooked on the dairy, I didn't know how to give it up. And so he really inspired me to take that next step and that next level. And now I like to think I'm a better cook than him. But
and honestly, I don't know if you noticed, but like giving up dairy, then you start to see, even with the skin, you start seeing like, oh, my skin is clearing up a little bit because of no cheese, because of that. And it's like these little things. But once you get kind of over the hill, it feels good. And of course, like, okay, maybe things don't taste exactly how they did. I feel like cheese is they're still in the midst of figuring out how cheese tastes, certain things. But you know what, like you said, when you lay your head to rest at night, you understand that I did my part, and I feel good about, my contribution to the world. And like things that you can control those things. It just takes a little discipline.
And change is good. I think that a lot of times we hold on to our traditions. I think it's scary to think of us not being able to hold on to those things. But once you realize that there's so much creativity and growth that goes into making that transition, you learn so much, so many new things, and you connect with new people. It's really exciting, and you find a different culture, but still being able to reflect, your Mexican heritage or whatever kind of food that you really like. It's just creating a different alternative, healthy options,
Exactly.
So that's really exciting for me to be able to hold on to, you know, the foods that I was brought up on. You know, my mom, she would make pozole, tamales, and all these yummy Mexican foods. I'm like, how can I live without my enchiladas?
Then you discover there's a vegan version, and you're like, oh, we're chilling,
Yeah.
we're good. Like, we got some vegan tamales in the fridge right now, but they're like the elote ones. We got the piña, you know, so we're like, all right, we're good, you know. So it's compromise, right? It's compromise, and that's kind of life. For everything we're doing right now, we're trying to figure things out, find some compromises that allow us to move forward in that positive manner. So shouts out to San Diego. I want to talk about Crossed because I saw on your Instagram, you were at Waterfront Park. And I think it was probably for political, you know, reasons, but
Yeah.
that place is epic. I don't know, have you ever attended Crossed before?
Oh, I haven't. I know you're gonna hate me. I have not.
No, this is great. I feel like there's also a part of the festival culture when like someone hasn't attended a festival and you get to like give them the rundown on it. So check it out. SD, shouts out, Crossed. I mean, I'm a little biased. I met my fiance there, so I'll share it. Yeah. So, but Crossed is where the magic happens, and over the years, it's really grown. Got a lot of traction, but it's 21 and over. Really cool vibe, deep house, really cool people. Right there, waterfront. You get to watch the sunset. Not the largest festival in regards to walking distance. 3 stages. You got your craft beers. I just think it's a beautiful place. Of course, like I said, I was at Crossed, and I was going to the restroom, and then I heard my song from like 3 stages down. And I was like, that's my song. I'm heading over there. So I took off, sprinted over there, got to the stage, danced, and then at the end of the song's called Something About You, opened my eyes, and there she was, just glowing. And I was like, I have to go over there and say something. Just, I don't know. I just got to be, and went over there, and just so happened that she decided to go to the festival early by herself. We clicked. We're like, hey, want to meet up later to go catch a set? And funny part is 5 p.m. came along. I went to the little meeting spot, and I'm thinking maybe she shows up, maybe she doesn't. She shows up, and honestly, the rest is history. We've kind of been inseparable since. So shouts out to Cross.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So you guys decided to move to where you're at now?
So funny. We were both from the Valley, from out here. Like, it's weird. We're both from out here, and we just decided to go to Crossed, and then that's where we met. And that's when I was talking to her, I was like, yeah, I'm not from here. I'm from, you know, Woodland Hills. And she's like, oh, I went to school there. And I'm like, what? And then that's where it all happened. And then even after Crossed, I was like, all right, are we going to meet up? You know, we actually met up. She showed up. I'm like, this is, and then here we are, getting married soon in about a month. So
wow.
Awesome.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's exciting.
Thank you. I mean, it's all energy. It's all energy. And that's exactly why we want to continue sharing these stories. We want to continue connecting with people in the community. And just yourself, how has it been as a creator, as a CEO, as an inspiring female entrepreneur? You know, I mean, maybe you don't even want to be looked at that way, but but at the end of the day, there are going to be females that look at you paving this road and be inspired by that, and be like, you know what, I can do it too. And that's when, regardless of how we want to be perceived, we have to say like, all right, I know I'm doing something right, you know?
Yeah. Well, to connect it with the festival scene, I went to Univibe in Arizona, and I camped out there for a weekend, and just seeing everyone in their element at a festival, you know, really connecting with their art, whether it's dance, whether it's painting, music, seeing them flow in their element is extremely motivational for me and inspiring for me. Just because I think at that time I was so stuck on just, okay, I'm good at this one thing, I'm just going to stick with it and see what happens. And just living a very robotic life, like just having to wake up, having to go to work. And so going to a festival, seeing people really just flow and be in the now with their art is so exciting. And so, you know, I still work my 9 to 5, but I have a purpose and I have a reason for it. And so I wake up now every morning thinking, you know, what am I going to learn about myself today? You know, what's something new that I'm going to be like, oh, Genesis, you're pretty good at that. Like, great job for trying to pick up a new skill. And I think it's scary at first to start all over and, you know, pick up something that you're terrible at. It really humbles you. But it's exciting because it brings you back to when you're a child and you just want to play. You know, you wake up and you just want to play. And when you look at life like that in such a simple manner of waking up and wanting to just experience life, you find out new things about yourself. And through that, you meet new people and you connect with new people, amazing people. And, you know, you're bound to succeed. You know, the universe will align with you if you are in the flow. And so now every day I challenge myself to create something new, whether it's Ethical Dolly or Conscious Nomad or picking up macrame or whatever the case is, you know. So yeah, I inspire every human to challenge yourself every day. You know, it's not going to be easy. You know, you're not going to have glitter on every day and have a beautiful day every day. You know, there's going to be challenges. But if you are consistent and you stick with it, you will find out how strong you are as a human and that there are no limitations. You know, we are creating our own limitations. And so I'm excited about life. And I think that I'm hoping that with my excitement and my love for humanity and life, that I'll be able to inspire other people to wake up every morning and challenge themselves.
Yeah, I love hearing that because you're rising up. And the thing is, let's say I'm at home right now and I'm just kind of down because I'm like, well, I can't go to festivals. I can't go to work. Maybe I'm on unemployment and I'm just like, I have all this time on my hands and things suck. Well, you can soak that in for a little bit, you know, because we're all human and we should feel certain things. But then you hit that point where it's like, well, you know, I always wanted to do this. I have time to do it now. Why not go for it? Right. And you also mentioned making mistakes. Like, go out there and make creative, like, mistakes in with the right purpose, right? We call it falling forward.
Falling forward.
Yeah, I'm going to try to build something. I'm going to follow this idea. You might make a bunch of mistakes. Even us, we've had some crazy stories, you know, and it's like, but if you really look at the whole trajectory of everything, it's still going in this direction. And as you mentioned, the universe is going to present opportunities. It may not be the exact thing that you want at the exact time, but it is going to be an opportunity. And if you can realize that and then step up to the plate, be prepared, be ready, understand it, be aware, then you can take so much from it, right? So I always tell everyone that. I say, whether Festiie goes global and every festival has it, or whether, you know, it becomes something we learn from. I mean, it's always something you learn from, right?
Yes.
Even though we're going to push really hard, and we're so grateful for all the people you meet in the process. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of it right there. So just challenging yourself, trying things. You just mentioned macrame. You're like, hey, I'm going to get it. It's macrame time. What's up? So that's part of it. Let's talk about environment, though, because kind of it's very important that you surround yourself with. It doesn't have to be physically people. It could be the content you're taking in. It could be all of that. And how do you do that so that you can maintain level-headed? Because you even mentioned the 9 to 5. It seems like there's balancing that out. It's not like, hey, I have all the time in the world, but you have to be able to tap into those creative flows and maybe having the environment to do so. Let's talk about that. That's super cool.
Thank you for asking that. Actually, that's something that I have definitely been working on, especially right now with just everything that's happening, is finding my equilibrium, right? It's like I'm going back to work, I'm working my 9 to 5, but there's still a lot of fear in our society and doubt with our government and just so many different elements that are happening right now. And so, right now I'm working as a store manager, so I'm having to comfort and build and inspire my team right now during this time. And I'm also a new manager. I just took over the store, so being able to, have them find the confidence with their manager that I'm able to lead them into success. So there's a lot of pressure, that I'm dealing with right now, on top of wanting to create my own brands. And so for me, every morning, I just try to take a minute to just be in my body, kind of slow down the vibrations of life. Sometimes we wake up, we want to go on Instagram, or what's next? What's this? Coffee. And I think just taking that moment to really start your day off in a very meditative state in everything that you do, whether you're taking a shower, just touching your body in a very meditative state to really connect with the water, and just those little moments. It doesn't have to be a full-on meditation of 20-30 minutes, but finding that moment of breath, I think, is very, very important to set up the energy of the whole day, right? The momentum of the day. And I think that even in a chaotic scene, you can find stillness. And that is what helps me throughout my days, is finding that stillness in those moments to breathe and connect. And it's definitely helped me, I think. And I think I have a really great team, and I'm excited to be able to learn on how to be a leader. I think it's really cool.
Yes, love it. Basically, staying mindful, taking those seconds to just be aware. I always say that, like, I always tell friends, like, dude, we have hands. Like, you imagine how different your life would be if you, this is probably like I wasn't like high or something, like, hey man, but do you imagine, like, you didn't have hands, like, everything's different. So like something like that, to be like, wow, dude, I have hands, like, that's amazing, right? Because the person that doesn't have hands, they're still finding something to keep them going, to be positive, and there's always someone there that's going through a difficult time. So just understanding that, and you mentioned maybe taking a little break from the social media, or not having it be the first thing you do, right? Meet with your own thoughts, meet with your own, connect with your own organic beings and self. Right. And then you can go on, and once you make sure yourself's good, okay, cool, I could start my day off. I can go get my coffee. I could start doing this. But just that little check-in, it doesn't have to be an hour. It could be as simple as you said, like 5 minutes. It could be in the shower, just being aware of the drops that hit your body. So love it, love it, love it, love it. Just bridging the gap between, like you said, spirituality, but then that spirituality and that hustle mentality all in one.
The hustle.
So,
and just remembering also one last thing. Just remembering that for me, I love just looking life as one big play. Like I said, I have a theatrical background, and so just seeing it like, there's gonna be challenges, there's gonna be that climax of the story, so where are you in your story? And then also understanding that it is a play, that we are here, and that we don't have to take life so serious. If you want to, we can be in the play. We can do this. We can argue, we can, we can have the conflict, but deep down inside, I know that it's all just one story,
Yeah, actually, I want to bring this up because now I have someone from the theater, because I was watching Hamilton yesterday.
Nice.
And I was like, and I wasn't, this is not like another stoner question. I was just like, Dude, they have to memorize so many lines, every little piece, every gesture, every this. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow. So tip my hat off to you, because that's skill. I'm sure you have to hone that craft. There's your talent. It's super talent based, but it's also hours and hours and years of practice and time and effort
Yeah.
and focus, right?
Yeah, for me, I love it. I'm a Virgo, and I love like getting it right, and like I love just the repetitiveness of memorizing my
Yeah.
lines. And nothing compares, because you're completely in the story. And I love just taking myself out of my shoes and being able to tell stories. That's very important to me too. I love just the beauty of theater and the catharsism and telling stories and healing a society through storytelling. I think it's beautiful. And yeah, so memorizing my lines, it could be kind of meditative. I like to lay out on the ground and just go over my lines until I get it down.
I mean, it's a skill. I truly, like, literally, I mean, I'm pretty good public speaker. I used to take speech class and do like the whole memorize a 5 minute speech. But then I'm like, dude, this thing is 2 hours and 40 minutes long. Like, like how much preparation went into it. But that's what allows you from the other side as an audience member to truly appreciate every little thing. And just like everything, right? Like you mentioned it, the whole world's a stage. We're out here, we're doing our thing, and understand there's something larger at play. That's why we love festivals. So this has been amazing. I mean, I truly appreciate you amidst everything, taking time out of your life, out of your day to come out here and drop this inspiration, share your story. If someone else was moved by this, how can they find you? What are your social media handles? How can they reach out and connect?
Yeah, so you could find me at Genesis Artistry. I would love to connect with everyone and talk about life and festivals and plan out our future. I'd love to talk to everyone. So Genesis Artistry, if you want to get in contact with me. And then if you want to know about some awesome vegan restaurants, you can follow me and my partner at the Conscious Nomad Couple.
Word. There it is. Well, so cool. We're going to have to do another episode in the future just talking about like food.
Yeah.
I'm writing you down, penciling it. We're going to do a vegan, plant-based podcast soon where we just tell you guys, boom, this and this, and just in the spirit of fun and food and food loving. But for today, this has been great festival culture. We appreciate it here at Festiie. You are Festiie fam. Everyone, Genesis Artistry. Look her up. Connect. Right? My name is Desmond Beristain. Festiie fam. Peace, love, unity, and respect. Signing out.
Thanks.